mechanism for antimicrobial or nucleated proteins. Things like spectroscopy, mechanical and thermal techniques, so you can investigate how the physical properties of solids and liquids are reacting in food. And also within food chemistry, you have food flavor chemistry, which is on the rise and growing, and absolutely is a necessity, because companies are always looking for ways to cut costs and save money. So they will have chemists, food chemists, flavor chemists, develop ways to replace flavors, with chemical compounds. This way to save some money, saves the company money. So, did everybody get that? This is just an overview of the avenues that you can take within food science. It's a very broad spectrum for new students to realize that food science is so big that it's pretty good idea to know your avenues. There's also another aspect of food science, which is on the engineering side, product development. There's always new products that need to be brought forth to the market. Food engineering is going to involve things like food manufacturing, food processing, food packaging, preservation, shelf life. It includes fluid mechanics, mixing, extrusion, dough rheology, the fusion of flavors, compounds, understanding, baking, microwave processing, in-kitchen baking, health promotion through processed foods, more beverage development. If you go more towards the botanical side of it, you can get the genetically modified foods. So food engineering is another aspect of food science, or another avenue that you can concentrate on. So pretty much, food biology, food chemistry, food engineering, and food safety, as I mentioned before. The food safety in your part of the world is really up and coming. My senior food scientist just went to China to teach the government of China about food safety. And just to give you an idea of what he made, for a 2-week trip, he made $10,000 US. So you can see how important food safety is going to be in the future if the Chinese government is willing to pay that money, because people are really starting to focus on food safety in China and India, and as well as you have a lot of companies that are food companies that are moving their plants in their industry to India and China, especially with the heat, the humidity, the microbial factors, the pathogens that will grow in India and China are very harmful. So that's a brief overview of the avenues of food science. And you got to forgive me, I'm really not a professor. This is my first time in front of a classroom. So you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. So anyway, I guess Professor Van Pal is going to have you guys ask questions, and this way I can answer any of your concerns or inquiries that you might want to know. Any questions that you have in which direction then you might want to go with food science.
कुछ भी पूछना हो इनसे? हाँ भाई, कोई क्वेश्चन आप लोगों के?
Talk fast. Well, talking about import-export, the United States is governed, probably one of the most strictly governed food-producing countries in the world. So the laws here, in order for India or China, England, Australia, anybody to import a food into the country, it has to be what's called as GRAS, G-R-A-S, and follow FDA standards and processing for entrance into the United States. It has to meet all the FDA and USDA regulations. So that comes back to the food safety issue. Is that companies from the United States that might be going to India are going to be pretty stringent upon food safety and the regulations that are instilled by the FDA and the USDA. Technology. The Indian market is consumer-based. You're talking about Indian consumers in the United States? Yes, it's a very fast-growing market. Correct. The Indian population is one of the largest growing populations in the United States, and the ethnic development of Indian products are on the rocks in the United States. Oh, okay. How many students are there? It looks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's about what, 30?
Yep.
Okay, we can choose 3 projects, whoever wants to volunteer, or choose, we can do a beverage, we can do a jelly or jam, we can do a pizza. If they want to do any kind, if they have any ideas that they might do to test the waters and come up with their own ideas, you can do that as well. Okay, you gotta hold on. Alright, so Professor Vedpal, I guess we can say the categories, we can do the beverage, we can do the pizza, we can do a jelly or jam, or if they have any specific project that they want to do, if they have any ideas, so this way they can start thinking like a food scientist. If any of them have done at my disposal. Okay. Does anybody have any special ideas that they want to try?
कोई स्पेशल आइडिया जो ट्राई करना चाहते हो प्रोजेक्ट के तौर पे? है कुछ ऐसा? आपने पहले बता दिया था आप लोगों को।
Science, if you're going to be a product developer, is to analyze the market and what's in need and what is really at your disposal, what manufacturing ingredients that you feel that can always come standardized. So if anybody has any idea of what they might, does anybody have a dream project that they thought of that their mother makes great and they want to see it on the market? Okay. All right, so, let's see. So, all right, Professor, take the lead here. Because, like I said, we can do a beverage, we can do a pizza, we can do jam or jelly. We can do a jam or jelly with Indian spices. You can tell them to smile a little bit, you don't have to be that serious. Well, hey, listen, food science is food science, don't be amazed. I started as a chef. I started washing dishes, actually, when I was 16 years old. So, everybody's got to start somewhere. All right, so what's a famous Indian beverage there in India? That somebody makes at a celebration, at a wedding. Hello, how are you? So they all got to be on their best behavior. What is a famous beverage that is made in India? Okay, well, there's no spiced beverage, a special tea. They drink a lot of tea in India, correct? All right, so that's what we do. We're going to make a spiced tea. And we're putting it in a bottle. All right, so this way you guys get to start working with citric acid and preserving and making sure pH levels. You have a pH meter at your school? Okay. This way they can start working with some flavors to understand how to adjust flavors, start working with their sensory evaluation. Alright, so we'll do a spiced tea, and you'll sign up 10 of the students.
Spiced tea
They'll volunteer for that, and they will identify the spices that will go into each. There's not over, I'd say, 2 spices, because you start getting 2 and 3 spices. There's too many, and it's a conflict of flavor. Do you have access to citric acid there? take the first 10 volunteers to do the spice tea.
स्पाइस टी के कोई 10 वॉलंटियर हैं जो स्पाइस टी के ऊपर काम करना चाहें? बेवरेज पे जिसने हाँ करी थी अच्छी तरह से उठाता है किसी
Yes, we're going to have three. You have what? How many students? How many exactly do you have? All right, so roughly 16 students. Okay, so you have 30 that want to, all right, so 10. Yes, that sounds good. All right, so we'll have the spice tea, do a jelly. You have access to pectin. And fruit juices, I would imagine. Yeah, we can just pull those off the store if we have to adjust. And you have brixometers and refractometers. Okay. So you have all the equipment. Okay. All right, and then we can do the pizza. So I guess Professor Vedpal, you will get assigned the students to those three projects: spice tea, jelly, pizza. Then I will send you basic recipes and see what they know about converting that into commercial formulation. Because we're not going to, I'm not going to give them the finished formulation. I want to see if we can work through it. Okay? Sounds good. The plans are to, number one, find a home recipe for the spice tea. Oh, I already set up the block site. Okay, so I'll find the recipes then, and then the next week sometime, we will discuss the recipes and how to start converting recipes or projects into commercial formulas. And then we will start going over rules and regulations and the target of what we want. All right, so you'll assign 10 students to one of the three projects, right? Okay. Then I guess what they will do is they will, as they move along, I would imagine each project will probably take a month. Right, a spice tea, a jelly, and a pizza. So each one of those will be complete within, I would say, 6 weeks. 10 students will work on the spice tea, 10 students will work on the jelly, 10 students will work on the pizza. We will get a recipe for each one, and then we will start teaching them how to turn these projects into commercial formulas, which is considered product development. So if somebody was to come to you and say, hey, what's one of your students' names?
नाम बताओ भैया अपना। बोलते जाओ मैं टाइप कर बताऊंगा।
Give me one of their names.
अगला।
Sorba? Raise your hand, Sorba.
सौरभ। हाथ उठा।
See, where's Sorba?
इधर आगे सामने।
Who's Sorba? Okay, thanks, Sorba. All right. So if somebody was to come up to Sorba and say, I want you to develop a spiced tea for me, Indian style, he's going to be able to know what to do. So we'll walk him through that.
अगला second project में।
And then as we move on, in each one of the categories, or each one of the teams,
आगे आगे।
Amit Kumar.
सामने आना। हाँ बस।
He's not the people. How you doing, Amit, right? So, then what they'll do is they'll keep notes and, you know, a lab book. I'll get you formulation sheets that I use, so this way they can start understanding product development. And then they'll write, I guess, you know, a 400-word paragraph, if you will, or a paper on what they found to be interesting, or, you know, what they learned. Does that sound good? Fantastic. All right, so I'm ready for any questions that you guys have. Log site address, I will send to you next week. I believe it's food science chef at academia, but I'll have to get that one for you. And then everybody can visit foodscienceproductdevelopment.com. Okay, they're convinced. Okay, great. I'll type in the correct All right, so they don't have any question?
और कोई question है भाई? कुछ पूछना है?
They can ask anything they want about me, food science.
पूछना है क्या कुछ?
तुम्हें कुछ समझ में आया क्या एक्सेल की प्रॉब्लम लग गई होगी आप लोगों को? चलो आपके साथ बताइए रिकॉर्ड तो हो गया।
रिकॉर्डिंग का मैसेज।
They're mesmerized by what? My good looks? Listen, I've worked for experts before, I still work with experts. Okay, sounds good. I don't know. Maybe December. I'll bring a food safety class with me. So nobody has any questions at all? They can ask about my background, what I did, where I started, how I got to be where I'm at. You never stop learning in food science. Okay, they can answer questions. I was a chef for 15 years, and I had this crazy idea that I was going to open my own sauce company. So I researched and researched how I was going to manufacture my sauces. I came to meet a man named Stan Kachikis, who at this point is my mentor and still a teacher of mine, who's 77 years old. 5 years ago, I walked into his office with my idea, and he charged me a lot of money. But it came to, finally, a month later, he hired me as his technician. So, made me promise to go back to school for the food science degree and work for him full-time as well. So 5 years later, after being a chef for 15 years, I am now the owner of Food Science Chef. What was that last question? You can hear me? You mean food scientists moving from India to the United States? I don't know the immigration laws, but I know that there are many Indian food scientists here in the United States. And they're mostly food science chemistry. As we all know, the United States, most of the United States students are lazy and don't want to do anything. Yes. food science is one of the fastest growing fields in the world, actually.
कोई और किसी का सवाल हो भाई कुछ पूछना हो?
It's my pleasure. On food flavors, as far as compounding flavors, okay. I think next week what we're going to do is we're going to start those projects. We're going to start getting them some hands-on, so they can understand and start working with some physical ingredients and start understanding what product development's about. Okay? Absolutely.
जो प्रोडक्ट बनाएंगे ना उसकी न्यूट्रिशन वैल्यू सारी हम
Yes, that's what our company uses as well.
जैसा 23 आपको दिखाया था सॉफ्टवेयर वो इनकी कंपनी भी यूज करती है आपको सिर्फ डेमो के लिए वो एक्चुअल में रिसर्च के लिए भी यूज होता है
If that's all, no more questions? I have five more minutes if you want for questions. Okay. Until next time. Okay, Professor, we'll see you next week. Have a good class. Bye for now.
ठीक है भाई एक्सपर्ट बुला दिए दिस वाज आवर ड्रीम हम बहुत दिनों से जा रहे थे कि इस फील्ड के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत अपने बच्चों को भी पता लगे कि यहाँ नहीं ये चीज़ बाहर इसकी बहुत ज़्यादा डिमांड है और एक साइंटिफिक वे से पूरा तरीके से ये सारा काम हो रहा है
सर इंडिया में तो ग्रोइंग हुई थी और
कई जगह पे बहुत अच्छी तरह से एस्टेब्लिश में बहुत अच्छे इंस्टीट्यूट हैं
सर जहाँ चलते हैं प्रोसेस टूर है वहाँ भी
हाँ
अरे अपने यहाँ भी हम आजमपुर में थी जरा एक्सपोजर में ना डेट पे नहीं हुई ना अदरवाइज जो
दिल्ली
मेट्रो
बॉम्बे में तो सब यही है।
जितने भी मेट्रोज हैं वहाँ पर खूब प्रचलन है और उस पर खूब काम भी हो रहा है अलग अलग होटल हैं या इंस्टीट्यूट हैं
बॉम्बे में तो सर रोटियाँ भी यही मिलती हैं प्रोसेस टूर।
अच्छा अभी सोने की छुट्टी